Right, welcome to the No Ball podcast, named after. I'm Jonathan Logan.
I'm Alicia Bradley.
I'm Luke Park.
And I know no ball, I'm Evan Canny.
Right, so in this podcast, we're going to talk about the marketing styles in European football. We're going to cover some of the bigger clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, Bayern Munich. We're also looking at some of the other clubs like Manchester City, PSG, Bayern Munich. So, Evan, you can start off with the marketing styles.
So I'd say the key thing for marketing for any business as a whole is 4 P's: the product, the price, the placement, and then the promotional value of it. So each of the merchandise that any of these clubs will sell will have features of the 4 P's throughout.
Yeah, so like, Rob, is there anything like any certain things that stand out for you? Like the way clubs market, any certain ways that always stand out for you?
Well, with Barcelona, they do the marketing events with it, like in Barcelona and outside the stadiums. They have things that you can do outside them that not all clubs have. So that's probably one of their specialities when it comes to advertising. But obviously, different clubs do different things as they advertise. But everyone has a specialised, like you'd say, every club has a specialised point of their advertising.
So with Bayern, they do a specialised one as well. They tap into the German roots of Oktoberfest, and every year during Oktoberfest, the players will dress up and go around and obviously take part in the festivals and all that, and that's one unique way for them.
So like with Real Madrid's biggest way of advertising is through social media. They've got the biggest following in the world. It's over 270 million followers across all their social media. They do all that. They've got all the posters. You always see posters. If you ever go to a Spanish city, it's not as much in the UK, but if you ever go to like a Spanish city, you always see posters everywhere. Barcelona, I think Barcelona.
Barcelona, good for it.
So like they're just covered everywhere. Like every billboard, every bus stop, you'll see them. There's plastered everywhere. Even if it's like a brand, it's one of their brands. They're really advertising the players because they know that's the best way out to interact with them.
Yeah, similar to that, Manchester United use their global fan base a lot. They do live viewership events with ex-professionals in many different locations around the globe. There was one recently in Mumbai for a game with 2 ex-players. So fans from India could come down, watch the game with ex-players, have a Q&A and interact.
So like obviously they have like emails. I'm sure every club here has an online subscription service where you can just send like the weekly emails or daily emails after time. So
That's true.
yeah. There's the offline marketing. So obviously you have like you said about the interactions where you have to like match day stuff. There's obviously a lot of match day marketing that goes on. So like you'll obviously see increased social media posts. So obviously that gains a lot of traction then because the match day is obviously the main part of a football club. It's the biggest engagement, makes the most money for them. So that's their main part.
I think with Barcelona as well, their social media comes a lot into it because altogether they've got a large following like Real Madrid. I think theirs is towards 270 million as well, with their most being on Instagram. But they use a lot of them training and the way the players train and a lot of different photos from game day to entice people towards the club. They often use obviously your bigger players as their features, and you see them a lot throughout adverts. As well in Spain, they use a lot of TV marketing for Barcelona. They do a lot of sponsors with like they have a car brand called Cupra that they use, and there's quite a lot of the Barcelona players that go through that sponsor who promote on social media and will be on their advertisements on telly.
Yeah, similarly to that, Manchester United use some of their players for advertising in partnership with their global partners. For example, there's a Spanish wine brand called Castillo del Diablo, which means from the devil's cellar, which will link into the Red Devils nickname perfectly. So having the Manchester United player advertising the wine is the perfect marketing strategy.
Well, Bayern Munich were
It wasn't on loud. It was on silent. So.
Bayern Munich can really thrive from social media, and they're being the undeniable face of the Bundesliga. Like obviously with Real Madrid and Barcelona, they got two teams and in that league, and Man United there's loads of English teams. Bayern Munich, they're just the one main team to look at for Bundesliga, so they've got their own social medias where they thrive with interactions, but the Bundesliga will heavily just use Bayern and Bayern's players to tap into international markets from them being the one big team. In this section we're going to talk about season tickets and ticket pricing. With Bayern Munich, they have the cheapest season tickets for fans across the big clubs in Europe at only €145. This is because they only really care about the fans and how they treat the fans. They want the fans to be happy. And there's another team in the fourth tier of German football called 1860 Munich, who play in Munich as well as Bayern, and their season tickets are €220. So it shows Bayern just only really care about the fans, and that season tickets are aimed towards making them happy.
With Barca, their lowest season ticket currently sits at about £147, and the highest season ticket sitting at £968. But with them, obviously, with your normal season ticket, when you go in the highest season ticket prices, you're looking at boxes, you're looking at like your VIP experiences. But with the low ones, you still get your seats, and they are all about getting their fans in the stadium. They have one of obviously the largest football amount of fans in the world, so a lot of people are willing to pay that, and obviously with that adding up, it creates a lot of revenue, but it increases the amount of people that want to go with obviously their low season ticket prices, and gets more people into their stadiums because they obviously have a large amount of people into them often.
Yeah, similar to that, Manchester United are always getting 70+ thousand fans in each time. Although with Manchester United the season ticket prices are a lot higher, with the lowest amount being £532, and then boxes and private suites go well above that. And with the season tickets as well, there's also a waiting list which shows the popularity of it. Me personally, I've been on the waiting list for 5 years, and that just shows the popularity that Manchester United has for the season tickets, that you can be on the list for nearly half a decade and still not get one.
So like with Real Madrid, they have the categories, so there's 3 categories. Category 1 down at the bottom area. They have 3 tiers. So you've got the category 1 down at the bottom, category 2 mid area, category 3 which is right at the top, which is basically you're in the sky. The cheapest tickets start at €223. The highest is €2,127, which is next to the dugouts, which is obviously that's the main reason why they're doing it like that. They have boxes. The boxes range from €15,000 a year upwards, depending on what kind of thing you want. You have like X players coming into your box, you have meals, or you can just have the promo fees. Literally that simple. So yeah, I think most clubs will advertise the season tickets in all various different ways. Like you say, you've got the waiting lists.
Yeah.
But they still actively seek season ticket holders. Like I know years ago I bought tickets for Man United game, and then I had an email saying sign up for our season tickets. It's just to join the waiting list because they just know they're going to constantly get this streaming. Like Real Madrid season ticket holders, they're continuously growing. Like they have they always have room for extra fans, basically. You can always sell. So,
Another big part of the marketing strategies is the merchandising. Barcelona obviously have their two main sponsors, but their kit maker being Nike. Nike has been a long-standing sponsor and kit maker of Barcelona, and their relationship began back in 1988, so over like 25 years now. But it's set to expire in 2026, which will probably see it renew, let's be honest. And the kit deal is reportedly being worth £120 million a year. But obviously their main other sponsor is Spotify, being their stadium of like it's Spotify Nou Camp or Camp Nou, however you want to say it. But they're currently on a 4-year deal.
Yeah, with Manchester United, the sponsorship deal for shirt sponsorship is Adidas, but it's quite a bit less than Barcelona at £75 million a year. But that doesn't include a £4 million bonus that they can get for performance on the pitch, or a 30% decrease if they do not reach the UEFA Champions League during that season.
So with Bayern, the kit maker is Adidas.
second English way, isn't it?
Adidas, Adidas, whatever you want to say. And they've sponsored the kit for a while, and being the biggest club in Germany, they're going to have a lot of competition between the kit makers for who makes their kit, but that just shows they're going to get as much money as they want from kit sponsors. And they've also got sponsors like Audi, being German companies. They just want to be with Bayern because of how big that club is, and obviously just the biggest club in Germany. Every German company is going to be just them.
So like with Real Madrid, their merchandising ideas, they've got so many things. So one of the unique things, I know Manchester United do it because they're partners with Adidas. I'm not sure if actually Bayern do. So they have a Chinese New Year kit. I don't think I've actually seen it.
I think Bayern do an Oktoberfest.
They do an Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
So,
You'd imagine they'd do.
yeah,
Like even Burnley do a Chinese New Year kit, so lots of pretty much every club will do it.
yeah. So they've got the obviously that. They have all the training wear that goes along with it. They have the retro kits. Adidas are obsessed at the moment with retro kits. Manchester United's kit is currently based on retro kit. So yeah,
All about the colour.
all that. They also have the club memberships. I've currently just signed to a membership going to Madrid this weekend. So I had to sign to a membership to get a chance to get tickets, which was successful, thankfully. So yeah, so obviously that's not just a membership for people in Madrid or in Spain, it's a worldwide membership. I think every company will have memberships available to anyone in the world. So yeah, there's what's the name? I think I think the 3 out of the 4 clubs here will have Lego sets as well as the stadiums. I don't think Allianz Arena has one. Not too sure.
I think they've all got Monopoly as well.
Yeah,
I've seen
Yeah.
like all the different global brands of toys and jigsaws, things like that. They'll have.
There's just a massive range of unique selling points down now, and all the merchandise. And then you have all the teamwear, you have the kits. But the kits aren't just limited now. The kits are women's kits, junior kits,
Even baby kits.
baby kits. You have literally anything you want now. It's all like even the women. They've even stretched out into women's stuff now. You can get. I know they always say like you shouldn't obviously genderize your colours and stuff like that, but you do see clubs now tend to make it pink training wear or pink swimming.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get into that, trying to get females more interested into the sport. So in this part, we're going to talk about social media side of football. So with Real Madrid, they are the most followed club on social media across numerous networks: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, even like YouTube, and you've got all the streaming sites and stuff like that, which we're going to break into and talk about.
I don't think we're far behind in our overall followers. I think we're the second most followed club in the world, being Barcelona. Obviously, across all of our social media, but obviously our most followed being Instagram at 120 million followers. But it's not far behind with Facebook with 103.
Yeah, well, with Manchester United, Facebook's the most popular by 15 million compared to Instagram. Facebook's at 76 million and Instagram's at 61, but also TikTok is a massively growing platform. United have had TikTok for under a year and they're already at 22 million followers, making them by far the biggest in the UK and closely behind Real Madrid and Barcelona globally with 180 million total.
Bayern Munich just inside the top 10 for most followed in Europe, and the most followed in Germany. Only really Borussia Dortmund come close, but they aren't even close. And with Bayern, you sort of know that they're the biggest club in Germany, and they don't need the massive social following to know that they are the club it goes to when it comes to Germany. So for them, social media is just, it's obviously a main key thing, but they know they don't need the highest numbers for all the interactions.
So like earlier today, there was a post from Real Madrid on their Twitter about the history of Real Madrid, and within 9 minutes there was over 200,000 views straight like that post, which is on their Twitter they've got over 47 million followers. So for them to get 250,000 instantly within 9 minutes is just crazy numbers. It's just like, you really think about it. If you one of us put a post on, like, what reviews
We'd be lucky if we get
20, 30 views, and they've got 250,000 within 9 minutes. It's crazy.
Do you know the first English club to be Real Madrid ever?
I do actually. Nelson.
Nelson, 2-0, team I played for.
Actually.
I think I think the helping growth of like seeing it straight away is the use of like Instagram and Twitter with being able to turn your like post notifications on. You can do it with Instagram and Facebook now, but obviously being able to see as soon as your club like posts and like helps with the views, because you know the posted, you want to see what the posted, you want to know what's going on, especially towards like the end of the season or with like the transfer season going on. A lot of people turn them on so they know as soon as possible. But obviously, like mentioned, with the growth of like TikTok, it is the fastest growing form of social media for most clubs. Us having 28.8 million followers as Barcelona, but we also have our separate women's accounts, which I think most of a lot of these do. And obviously the general accounts have more followers than the women, but obviously they are growing incredibly at the minute, especially with TikTok.
So that's the thing. I think like most of obviously the clubs we're talking about, they all have international pages.
Yeah.
So whereas we're saying there's 130 million followers on Facebook, but that's their main Facebook page.
They'll also have one for different languages. So they'll have one for
Thailand,
Chinese,
Chinese,
India.
all of them. And then they've also, like you said, the women. They have the women's pages now where that gains followers.
I've just looked. Barcelona have 3.4 million on the women's, and Bayern have 1.4. That's more than a lot of like big English clubs have. Like Premier League clubs. Someone like Southampton probably don't have that much.
Yeah, it's just social media. Social media is now the biggest marketing tool within football. Like,
it does also have a negative effect. Though, it's like recently today, Sky Sports tweeted that the Glazer family were interested in keeping the club, and the share price within 1 hour dropped by 18%.
Yeah.
So that will hit them massively, and that's all because of social media. If there wasn't social media around, the news would take longer to react to.
Yeah. Football's just massive.
Yeah.
So remember when Ronaldo, all he did was move a bottle of Coke in his interview, and their share prices bombed down. Football is just massive with social media, and it's so powerful.
So I think he was a part of, was it Juventus or was it Real Madrid at the time when he did that.
I think
No,
he
no,
was
it
at
was-
Juventus, but he was on national team
Yeah, he
junior.
was on national team junior, but I think
It was
like, it even
only.
affects,
It was at United. It was
I
only
think it was
recently.
just before we went to United.
was it?
Yeah.
So like, even that kind of thing can affect the club because a lot of clubs, I know we do, I think Barcelona they're partnered with Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
But you know,
like that type of thing, it affects the club because if the players are unwilling to work with a partner, then it's just gonna be like, well, why do we want to work with you? But it's just going to cause more issues.
I think.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some positives and negatives towards social media. There always will be, there always has been. When you definitely, I think towards like the hate or the drops in like prices and shares and whatever. Overall, I think there is definitely more of a positive outlook on it for the fans to be able to see what our club is doing.
Yeah. It's like with Real Madrid, so they've just got a new sponsorship with BMW for the season, which is that's all took Audi. So that just shows like they're just going up because they're paying a lot more money. I think they're paying double what Audi pay, and that's because Real Madrid they've got the access to 276 million followers, and like you can't put a price on that.
You can't argue it.
So if somebody see like how many young people see somebody driving a car, they're like, I want that car. If you see your favourite Real Madrid player driving that car, that's your aspiration to buy that car at some point.
like Cam say with his Mini Cooper.
Obviously, are all in agreement that social media is by far the biggest marketing tool within football.
Yeah. Modern day
Definitely.
by far.
Definitely.
So I think that puts to an end our podcast. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening. So I'm Jonathan Logan.
I'm Melissa Fredsley.
I'm still Luke Pye.
And I'm Evan.
Kevin.
I don't even know your name. And Evan, can you have any more?
Kevin! Kevin! He turned his face.